A big hello and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. Today I'm at the Accenture office in Mumbai and joined by a very special guest, Nikki Mendonca, who heads Accenture Interactive Operations. Now, what is that really, what it does, and why is she here? Well, she's joining me right here. Thank you so much, Nikki. Truly a pleasure having you on Brand Equity. You know, all of us have been focused on Accenture Interactive for a bit now, given the marketing and advertising space. You're looked at as the new entrants. The whales are looking to eat the rest of the industry up. So we know quite a bit about Accenture Interactive, but what exactly Accenture Interactive Operations does is not very clear. So for the sake of my audience and myself, if you could explain what exactly AIO is.
Sure. Accenture Interactive Operations is the marketing activation arm of Accenture Interactive, so the managed service marketing activation arm. A lot of clients were coming to us saying, you're doing such a good job in terms of designing and building the best experiences on the planet for us, but we also need your help to operate, activate, and scale those experiences across the world. So we thought, right, we should create a global experience activation network to help our clients operate, activate, and scale experiences that we either create or that clients have created with other agencies. So that is Accenture Interactive Operations.
Now, what kind of experiences are those?
Any experiences that actually stretch from any form of brand communication to the fuller customer experience journey. So we work very much on, first and foremost, redesigning customer experience journeys for clients, and then looking at, say, brand communications within that, looking at how a brand shows up across every single touch point, be it physical, digital, multi-screen, and making sure that all of those conversations, experiences, messages are as consistent as possible, and that the right message, conversation, and experience is going to the right cohort at the right time in the right way. I mean, Accenture Interactive Operations, in terms of the deployment and the management of those customer experiences, we have the wealth and the depth and breadth of expertise within Accenture to pull upon as well. So we will deal with everything across the whole end to end. So all of the analytics at the starting point, all of the target segmentation that is a part of analytics, all of the predictive modeling that is part of actually ascertaining customer behavior. So all of the content creation and customization, all of the delivery across every single channel, including all of the programmatic expertise, and then all of the marketing performance management, creating a full loop and a kind of performance marketing engine for clients that are always on, iterative, and real time.
So would you do this for clients who have, let's say, got on board Accenture Interactive as their go-to person, their consultant, their agency on record, or is it for any agency they might have got on board and you could do the implementation?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's any agency that a client actually has a preference to work with. So obviously, if they're already working with an AI agency, then we will scale an experience just with one of our AI agency counterparts. If they're working with another agency group, be it WPP, Publicis, etc., or an independent, we will also work with them to be able to scale experiences across the globe. So it really depends on the client's preference and what partnership ecosystem they've actually set up.
Okay, and when you say that your key goal is to scale those operations, how would you be competent to scale vis-a-vis other players?
Oh, incredibly competent, because we have made sure that when we look at the depth and breadth of skill sets that are needed, all from, analytic, all the skill sets that you need in terms of delivering analytics powered activation, we have made sure that we have them in our activation hubs. So Mumbai is one of our activation hubs. We have 5 others across the world, and we make sure that we go and procure, whether it's the data scientists, whether it's the platform activation experts, whether it's attribution modelers, whoever it is, we make sure that we procure those and we create those sort of ninja teams around our client's business to be able to deliver end-to-end activation.
So just so that, what you just said sits in perspective, could you give me a few examples and a case study maybe to understand, how you've really scaled operations? And, I also believe one of your key fortes is hyper-personalization. So how you've exactly done that. So, all of us get a better idea of how this works?
Yeah, so across the spectrum, I mean, even for GSK, we have set up a marketing operations center to really help centralize a lot of their content and actually help with the creation and deployment and customization of that content across every single touch point, particularly dealing with how to enhance the relationship that healthcare professionals have with patients so that they're armed with the right content and they're actually educated and informed and inspired to recommend the right, prescription to the right patient for the right problem. With hoteliers like Melia and Radisson, we've actually taken our dynamic hyper-personalization approach to their business to make sure that we're looking at the predictive analytics of a customer, say myself. We're ascertaining exactly how I like my hotel experience to be, my preferences, my likes, my dislikes, etc. And we're making sure that we tailor the communication to that customer on their owned assets, as well as their earned communication, as well as on their paid programmatic. So we're making sure that we're really looking at the whole full customer journey of a customer to Radisson Hotels, and we're making sure that we really personalize that communication so that we actually stimulate more loyalty. And we're seeing that the sales, particularly from online for both those hoteliers, have actually gone up 2x, 3x. So very, very successful. So it just shows us that more dynamic, personalized communication does pay dividends.
Okay. And what brings you to India? I believe it's really the launch of your 6th hub, and Mumbai will be your 6th hub. This is the 6th edition.
This is. We have 6 experience activation hubs. Mumbai is at the epicenter of that hub. It's one of our largest. It's one of our most successful. We've got over 1,500 people in the experience activation center here, full of end-to-end skill sets, which is fantastic. And it's just so exciting that the Mumbai Experience Activation Center has launched. It's one of our most successful. It's fantastic to see everyone in action here today. And it really is quite the linchpin in our experience activation global network. We've got a lot of clients asking us for more support out of Mumbai to help them cost effectively scale their campaigns and experiences across the globe. So business is going from strength to strength here across every single vertical. It's very exciting to see.
And what exactly do they do in this center, in these hubs?
Yeah, so in these hubs, they will actually do full-blown multi-touch point activation for a raft of clients. So some of them we can name, some of them we can't, but it's really centralizing that global activation across multi-touch points.
Right. You've talked about the fact that, Accenture Interactive Operations is focused on next generation content services. What exactly do you mean by that?
By next-gen content services, we really are going to take a leadership position in taking AR and VR and even artificial intelligence and machine learning and bringing it to content. We're also scaling even techniques like digital twinning, which is honed within our Machivision acquisition, which is a technique that really allows products, so certain products from CPG clients, to scale across the globe. We can actually take a digital twin of any physical product and actually create it in a format that can then go across all screen technology, including television. So we're currently scaling the whole of our digital twinning technology for a whole raft of clients at the moment, which really brings down their whole content cost and drives up their utilization. And particularly in terms of CPG clients, it's really changing the way they show up on digital marketplaces and e-commerce platforms, which really truly is game changing.
So is this something you're working on, or is this already in the market?
It's already in the market. We're scaling it now on a few clients. It was particularly honed in the automotive space.
Sure.
We're obviously doing shoots. We wanted to bring down the cost of a shoot quite dramatically.
Right.
So we started in the automotive, but now we've honed it into products, and now we're going full blown into other verticals.
Okay. And how does this exactly work? For instance, give me an example.
It just works by actually taking the metadata of a product and actually making sure you can simulate the textures and even shadowing and all forms of a physical 3D object, and making sure that you basically mimic it through data, and then you can apply that through online technology.
Wow.
And you can do that. And the guys here can do that, and it's absolutely fantastic. We also do a lot of that in our Costa Rica center and in our Turin center, but clients particularly are seeing how that is paying dividends in their communication programs.
What's your view of, where the C-suites, your clients, and you have access to CXOs, and you chat with them, on a regular basis. Where are they today in the whole, trust and transparency issue? We know that there is a trust and transparency deficit, but have those issues been resolved? Have they? Have you taken, as an industry, steps forward in ensuring we're minimizing and regaining their trust?
Yeah, we have done a lot of work with a lot of clients to actually increase the whole trust and transparency, give them more visibility over especially the digital media supply chain.
Sure.
We're also working with other partners to really bring down fraud, non-human traffic, clickbait, etc., and really increase the amount of human traffic and drive, better performance on sort of digital media campaigns for our clients. So that is for sure. There is still in places a trust and transparency deficit, but we're showing clients how they can take back more control, how they also can harness better visibility and control through better control of their data. We think that's also very, very important. So we're encouraging a lot of clients to take control of particularly the first party data, which is the most potent, and actually make sure that they've got visibility of how they're using that data in all of their customer experience programs. So I think we're on the road to definitely much more trust and transparency, and it's only getting better. And yes, creating hybrid operating models with clients is becoming a way of kind of working out, okay, they gain more control and visibility over the digital marketing supply chain, and we help them a lot more with the execution and activation of their campaigns so that they know exactly what's going on and how well it's working.
I'd be curious, before Accenture Interactive and Accenture Interactive, operations, when you were just consultants, right? One could then say that when you're advising and consulting clients on how to do this. So for instance, let's look at this particular, conversation that you just had, saying that we're sitting down, breaking it down, telling them what to outhouse, what to in-house, to ensure that there's a balance of control. How do you think clients would look at, let's say, Accenture now, which is a pretty vested party, right, to be the right advisor, because you're no more an outsider who's just consulting. You have your skin in the game. So how's that panning out?
But we're very, very adept at making sure that the consultants are completely neutral. We're still platform agnostic, even in activation. We think it's very, very important, and data set agnostic too, very, very important to actually have a purview of what is truly the best, course of action for our clients, and there is no sort of skin in the game there in terms of any partial consultancy. So everything that we advise a client about, the right marketing tech stacks, the right data sets to be able to procure, the right strategies, we're very, very neutral across all paid, owned, earned activation, because it has to be right for the client. The thing that we hone in on as well is we've come away from proxy metrics in campaign activation, and we very much deal with endgame metrics, and that sorts out a lot.
Endgame in the sense sales.
Endgame in terms of business,
Yeah,
absolutely.
sure.
So if it's not driving, if any of our advice and actual activation is not driving a business outcome, well then everyone can see that it's not working. So we're incredibly, and we sign up to that. So everything that we do in terms of planning and activation is all about endgame business metrics. So it has to be right. If we're not shifting sales, SKUs, etc., driving test drives for clients, then course correction, and then we actually look at the plan again and change it accordingly.
Fair enough. You recently mentioned that there is a lot of incompetence within the current marketing services industry. I'd be very curious to know what exactly you mean and where exactly you see the incompetencies.
Okay, so I think that was a quote from June 2018, but you're spot on. I think that we talk very much that we're creating a new model for a new generation of marketeers. And I mean new generation being very data-driven, very, tech savvy. There are still a lot of marketeers who aren't, and there are still a lot of marketeers who only deal in silos. We think that the game has changed quite rapidly from CMO to CXO, and it really has to be about that customer experience across every single touch point. And I think that a lot of CMOs aren't there yet. And I think that that is doing a disservice, because you have to have a good relationship and visibility across money in and money out, and sort of almost activity spent and business outcome achieved. And I think that now every single CMO, CXO has to deliver an experience that delivers back to the business. I think, gone are the days where you can just sort of spend money and justify it in the boardroom on proxy metrics. I think that spells an area of incompetence.
And how far in the journey are we?
Well, in terms of our own journey at Accenture Interactive operations, is not that old, and Accenture Interactive is 10 years old. So we're still very much the new kids on the block.
Yeah.
But I think that because we've got a direct line into the C-suite, we're agitating quite hard and changes are happening quite thick and fast. So I think we are at an inflection point in the industry. It's very, very exciting to see. I think a lot of CMOs are now getting marketing and sales responsibility, or marketing and e-com responsibility, under one roof. So I think a lot is changing very, very quickly. So it's good to see.
What would be your role in the whole media marketplace?
Well, media is part of our multi-touch point activation mantra. So even when I was at Omnicom, I felt that media was only part of the story. You actually had to affect across, had to make an effect and make an impact across every single touch point. So I think that's where some of the media agencies are struggling at the moment, is that they're too siloed and they're playing in a pen that's too small. So, for us, media is a part of a wider experience transformation that we're trying to deliver to a client, and obviously part of a wider business transformation that we're trying to lead for a client.
Sure. So you're saying you're very much set up in terms of media buying and selling as well, or is that something that you will outsource?
No, media buying we will do, but we've started first and foremost with programmatic. We do believe that by 2025, all media will be programmatically traded, and that's quite soon. Programmatic, actually, with obviously harnessing tech and data, allows you to be so much more effective and efficient.
The jury seems to be out on that one, because there are many who say that, it's not as effective because you need that human.
I think you need the humans. We'll always do a human and machine operating model. So I don't think that the humans are surplus to requirements. It's human and machine, but a lot of CMOs and CDOs aren't even fully leveraging the marketing machinery. Marketing machinery is now 50% of the marketing operating model and the content operating model, and they're not even sweating their tech assets well enough.
Okay.
So we come in there and we also help them, get that machinery right, make sure that their actual utilization and their ROI on that marketing technology is right, and then making sure that they're even using it better, or we're driving their technology better for them.
Sure.
To make sure that they're getting the returns from it.
I'm interested in that statement you made, that almost all buying will be programmatic by 2025. What does that mean? That means serious, cutting of jobs.
Oh my God, massive transformation.
Okay.
And you're seeing, even in the UK, one of their largest channels, ITV, is going to be programmatically traded as soon as December this year. We're seeing that programmatic outdoor is already a reality. It was definitely a reality when I was trading in London. It's now a reality in many countries across the globe. And you can actually do multiple outdoor, trade multiple outdoor sites from one desktop. So it's that level of control, and your ability then to change in terms of dynamically personalize, or depending on location strategy, what's going on outdoor is already with us. So I'm seeing that, programmatic audio is already with us. So it's very, very exciting that the technology is already here. What is difficult is obviously to change the human mindset to embrace the technology and fully utilize and leverage what's there.
So in your view, what does the future behold? I mean, how will this industry, transform itself? And I mean, clearly, from what you just said, the media agencies, the way they operate right now, will cease to exist, and
they'll just be need to leverage tech and data much more than they're currently doing. They're still doing things longhand, versus using tech and data and algorithms and machine learning to be able to create a performance engine. The ability to actually write powerful algorithms in media buying is here today. Not everyone is taking advantage of it. And I think we need to accelerate that much more, because what can be done then in terms of execution and in terms of marketing performance management is huge. But a lot of people are not taking advantage of it. And we are, because we're set up, with a blank sheet of paper, being new kids on the block. We're set up with very much a data-driven, tech-enabled approach to marketing performance activation.
And let's talk about creative. Do you also foresee, or is that already happening? You tell me, where you have, AI actually create and give you creative solutions. So wherein you're really killing the whole creative madmen, so to speak, and that entire agency.
Well, we've
business.
actually got a demo that we're showing here at Mumbai, which is where AI is actually helping power the customization of that creativity and doing it quite successfully. So you will need humans to do, say, the hero creative and the strategic brand platform and your brand purpose, your raison d'etre. That absolutely takes a lot of human capital and human intelligence. But when you get down to more content customization and the fact that you need now 1 million pieces of content to satisfy your multitude of cohort groups, you can use AI, machine learning, and power algorithms to do that for you quite effectively, increasingly so, more and more day by day.
I see. Wow. This is a gloom and doom.
No, it's exciting because it frees up humans' time to do stuff that computers can't do as well.
So for all of those who are hearing you right now and are completely, are very nervous and chipping away on their nails, what would you say? How would they need to reskill themselves to be relevant in tomorrow's market?
Yes, I would always say do things that you know a computer can't do. And it's very interesting because sometimes even when we talk to our teams, we really focus in on that, because even some of the strategic understanding, even some of the human interactions that, say, even you would have with your clients, giving your clients a human face-to-face experience that obviously they cannot get from technology. I think it's very, very important for especially the youngsters out there, to really think about skill sets and traits that only humans can do and humans can do very well, and really focus in on those.
Okay, fair enough. And my last question before I let you go is that, Accenture Interactive is making large strides globally. They're also making many acquisitions. Why is it that we don't have an Accenture Interactive office in India? Why is Accenture Interactive not looking at this market and looking at local needs here?
Oh, I can't comment on any exact acquisitions, but we're always looking at opportunities.
No, my question is not really about acquisitions. My question is really about why is it that they haven't, entered the Indian game yet?
I think it's because we focus very much on experience activation first, because that has actually been the burgeoning need of our clients. But the rest will come. Okay,
fair enough. Thank you so much. This was truly my pleasure.
And mine too. Thank you.
I hope everybody's heard your words carefully and reskill and rebuild their careers.
Absolutely. Thank you.